Hi Govan, and welcome back to another Araquin Caladrim video. We are so glad to be back, sitting in Middle Earth, where we love to be. We have had a crazy month. It's been a busy month. So this video, we're going to talk about the league finale for the Ontario SBG League, which is our home league. We're going to show you pictures of the prize-winning armies and some of the prize-winning painted models. There's some really sweet work that was done at this event. We'll show some pictures of the tables, which were also very impressive. Pictures of the trophies and some of the prizes. Lots of custom-made stuff there. Any of you crafty people will appreciate that. There was some really good work went into this event. We were impressed. And we had a good time. He'll comment on his opinions on how that went. We'll tell you about our armies and what worked and didn't work about our armies. And we'll talk about a couple of league things too. We'll try to keep this update short and meaningful. But this was a great tournament. Really well done. So kudos to the organizers. That's Ben Boomer, Joseph Hanlon, and Friar Justin. Father Justin, brother, I keep calling you the wrong thing. I'm from a different church tradition than Justin Bertrand, and he is a Catholic priest, and we're proud of the people that we get to play with. There's some real good quality people. So Father Justin was one of the guys who helped coordinate this event. The three of them did a great job organizing and running the event, and they had some amazing stuff. So we will show you some of the pictures in this video as we go. First, what's a key highlight for you? Anything specific out of this event that you think was particularly noteworthy?
I have revised my standing on Ents.
I'm still not convinced they work, but he didn't have any fun against them.
I hate them.
I have a big Ent army. We're going to show you at some point. Not this video. We'll do a video when we do some army breakdowns. We'll show you my Ent army. I've got 15 custom Ents. They're awesome. I'm really happy with them. But they're really tough to play.
And you better not play them.
He doesn't like Ents anymore, apparently. No. Yeah, now why?
I played them in probably their strongest mission, and just because of the build of my army, there was literally no way I could win.
Yeah, they were high fight.
It wasn't even that. My entire army for the GT was built around having a triple caster. Right. So I had the Witch King on Fellbeast, the Shadow Lord on Fellbeast, and the Mouth of Sauron with a mess of infantry. And his Ents...
Good infantry. Good line. Really solid build. He just... Yeah.
His Ents, I was fighting JJ. And his Ents are immune to magic that prevents them from being able to move or move against their will.
Not all magic, but sufficient magic that it compel and transfix don't work, which the Wraiths care a lot about.
I can't install fear. I can't... Pretty much the only two spells I was able to use on them were Black Dart, Drain Courage, and your staff is broken. Because I need to be breaking their staffs.
So that didn't really work very well.
So my casting was useless, so I just smacked into his line and just fought, because otherwise he'd throw rocks at me all day, and I died. And it was that simple. Smack dead, smack dead, smack dead. Rinse, repeat.
Unfortunate. So his experience of this GT, he just got drawn up again. It's a dice game, it's random. Sometimes you get that scenario where you're up against that opponent you wanted to play and it goes well, or you're up against that opponent you really didn't want to play, where their army is just geared to wreck yours. In that scenario, if you had a different scenario, it would be a totally different thing. Ronan had some unfortunate draws. I had some fortunate draws. Things worked out for me, but yeah. So my big lesson, I was working on a Thranduil's Hall's Iron Hills Allied list, which I just didn't get painted in time, so I practiced that. Disgusting. Well, it's a good infantry list. If you're going army to army and you're going to knock it out, then this list will win. It's a really tough list to beat if you're doing that. But half the scenarios don't really gear themselves toward that. And anyway, I ended up taking an army that I had painted and ready. So I went with my Angmar. I have an ice-themed Angmar. We've got pictures of that. I have an ice board for them.
Turns out the shade still works.
The shade still works. We were playing 4 games that were 1 hour and 45 minutes long. They were 600-point games. So at 600 points for 1 hour and 45 minutes, the shade's 8 will is enough. And now that there are so many fewer things that have heroic strike, my heroes were able to deal with the heroes, and the shade did its job. And my army worked. So I won 3 of my games. I tied 1 of my games. I came in tied for second at the end of the event. So when they do the split up of the, let me try that again, tiebreakers, by victory points and then by victory point differential, so I scored 3rd overall. Really good event for me. I wasn't going to win. I was going to have some fun, but did really well. And the gentleman who I tied got 2nd. So, and we were like 1 point apart. No matter how you run the tiebreakers, we were neck and neck. So, and I almost beat him. He tied it up in the last turn of the game. So good on you, Will Schaff. I'm going to get you. But that was good. He played Radagast with Eagles and Iron Hills.
7 Iron Hills dwarves led by a captain.
And those eagles, man, Radagast is a beast. Now that his profile is amalgamated and he gets Nature's Wrath with a free will per
not
turn.
Even really that. He was always that good. In fact, I'd kind of argue that he's slightly worse considering he can't heroic strike.
That matters. But if the eagles are within 12 inches of Radagast, then they're immune to magic.
Well,
no, they're not. They get resistant to magic. Let me try that again.
So you don't even need their faction bonus. You actually don't care. You just get it by having Radagast, which makes
as long as they stay close enough to Radagast. But if he's on Slay, that's fine. So Radagast runs in on Slay and kills stuff because he's got a million dice. And then the eagles go in and kill whatever Radagast can't outfight. So really, really beastly list. So we knuckled off for a little while, and I held him off. And at the very end of the last turn, he scored 1 victory point to tie my 1 victory point. Real low-scoring game, but it was fun. The scenarios that we played
Storm the Camp, followed by Lords of Battle, and then we played the night one.
Oh, Ill Met by Moonlight.
And then Fog of War to end the day.
Yeah. So highlights on the scenarios. What did we see or learn?
I still love Fog of War. Hands down my favorite mission ever.
It's a very strategic mission. It's very interesting to play that one. I'm not sold that that's a good tournament mission.
Oh, hands down,
but
yes it is.
But it worked because it tests your strategy. It really makes you think about a whole lot of things all at once. And you're playing out the player just as much as you're doing anything else. So Fog of War, when we played, I played against Steve Stokes. And he and I have fun. We've had a couple of great games in the past. I managed to fake him out. Right at the beginning of the game, our lines were going to meet in such a way that I sent a couple guys running off to the corner to take an objective, which was not the objective. They distracted, and it works. So little things like that in Fog of War seem to be interesting. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Our lines met in the middle and just were duking it out. He had a ballista in the back of the board, so the hero that he chose to protect in Fog of War, of course, was the ballista captain, hiding in the middle of nowhere in the back of the board, which was also the hero I chose to kill because my other choice was Dan. Dane's a beast. So I just left him.
I would fight Dane. I like fighting Dane with my army.
My shade would have helped on that, and if I'd have focused on it, I might have been able to get him. But yeah, you like him because you got
I can go transfix, Felby's dead.
Eventually.
No,
eventually you're going to wear out his will and you're going to get him.
I could actually do that in 1 turn.
Yeah.
He's only got 3
2 Wraiths on Felbeast and 1 Mouth of Sauron is a whole lot of casting. If you direct it all on one guy, you're going to chew up his will and you're going to get your spell off.
Well, that's a dead tier 1 character in a single turn. Usually you only need 2 casters anyway, because if you get the 6 twice, they're going to burn 2 will on the first one, and they're not going to roll the 6 on the second one.
So what'd you learn about your army while you were there?
It works. I love it. It's an incredible army. The only weakness to it is that the Witch King is the only model that can heroic strike, which means that he is crucial to your plan, and he is the only one that can actually take down tier 1 characters. Shadow Lord does not pull his weight in combat without the Witch King's support. He still fulfills his job of killing infantry easily. He does that just as well as he used to, but he cannot stand up to anything tougher than himself without the Witch King, which lends me to believe he is no longer the automatic pick that I always thought he was.
Yeah. At 600 point levels, it's interesting. We didn't see nearly as much archery as we thought we would see, and that's why you took the Shadow Lord. You were thinking about archery.
I should have taken either Kamul the Easterling or the Knight of Umbar. The Knight of Umbar would have actually been really good in all of my missions.
Just because of the people you were up against, you
just
always would have had something you could have copied.
Although I probably would lean towards Kamul, simply because he can heroic strike and he doesn't simply match his opponent.
Right.
And because of the ability to get back will and to modify his stats. I just think Kamul would be a better choice, and I might end up using him more.
So, the list he took: Witch King on Felbeast, Shadow Lord on Felbeast, Mouth of Sauron on his horse.
Witch King is severely reduced. He was 3 might,
Not
10
stacked.
will, 2 fate with the Morgul Blade.
Yeah.
So,
and then he took Blackguard of Barad-dûr backed with Morans.
8 and 10, yep.
So you got a D6 wall with strength 5, strength 4 spears behind it, high fight, just miserable line, really, really miserable line. And a whole lot of points in casting. So if the casting doesn't work or you're up against an army where they don't care, that's a big loss.
400 points in casters. That was absolutely worth nothing.
My army, I took Barad-dûr as my general. I took a Shade, I took a Barrow White, and I took a Captain. In the picture, you'll see a Wraith that's painted up icy themed on a horse. I proxied that in and used it as a captain because I liked it better. It looked better than my orc does. Used that as a captain and then just spammed out with orcs and tried to fill up space. I had 3 specters, a couple of wargs and warg riders just to mix it up and get some mobility, and it worked. I had enough balanced stuff in my army that I could run off on objectives. I could use specters to try to cast fell light and get people moving around where they were, where I wanted them, not where my opponent wanted them.
Just remember who helped you make that list.
Yeah, somebody helps me make my lists. We have some fun though. We practice a little bit, not as much as we'd like.
Oh, we need to practice more.
We have some trophies we're going to show off here. You want to pull yours out first? League boy here. All right, so we'll stick to the tournament. I mentioned that I came home with 3rd place. I was really, really happy with that. There are some other prizes that are really impressive to talk about. I'll show off this trophy because this is just one. They made some really sweet-looking trophies. We've got some better pictures that we'll show you. You can just sort of splice those in and load them up. These trophies have removable models. So we've got some really, really well-painted stuff on here, and we'll show you the zoom-in pictures on those separately because the camera focus is going to be a pain for us. But yeah, these are removable models. We got Haldir and a banner on this one, on the Deeping Wall from Helm's Deep. Spin it around. It's a pretty sweet-looking model, but the lighting in this room is really poor. But this is just so well painted. He's going to challenge me. I'm going to have to paint up my Galadrim now and try to get them up to this level. A little detailing on the cloak and everything. This is just a really, really nicely done model. So very, very happy to have won that. Prizes that are worth competing for, so that was pretty cool. The guys who made this is Ben Boomer's classic construction. He just does some amazing stuff with his terrain. Felt padding on the bottom of that, so it slides around nice, and just a really, really nice trophy. They did a great job making these, and they made a whole bunch of them. Oh, yeah. There were 2 prizes. Honestly, I think my favorite probably are the wooden spoon prizes. What'd they do for the wooden spoon?
They made casualty marker trophies.
Pretty awesome stuff.
They made little displays kind of like that big, and they had a dead Rivendell Knight and a dead Hunter Orc. So
same,
they had wooden
same
spoon.
wood base as this trophy. They all had the same wooden base. It's about, looks like it's a 4x4. It's about 3.5 inches square on the bottom with a little plinth underneath, and then different things mounted on top of that.
So they had a wooden spoon for good and for evil, which I thought was interesting.
It was clever.
Yeah.
And on the one, they took a Rivendell Knight casualty marker out of the Rivendell Knights pack, where you get the 6 you get the 6 knights and you get the 2 dead guys. So they made a dead guy trophy out of it. It was fantastic looking.
Same deal with the mounted Hunter Orcs. It's interesting that they put the dead guys with the cav. Somehow I find that weird. You should put it with the infantry.
In GW's box, it would make more sense to have it with the infantry. But whatever. Really cool trophies. That worked out great. So the 2 winners of that were new players to the league. I didn't know either of them, but it was great. We had a bunch of new players show up. We're seeing that more and more right now, which is a very good thing. Best theme also had special trophies, and the good player brought a Shire Force. We got a great picture of that.
With Gandalf.
Beautiful painted Gandalf, beautiful painted Shire, really, really sweet looking display. Very well earned prize. It was very well earned.
It was pretty good.
So we got a picture of that one in there, the evil theme army. There was actually a very near 3-way tie. I asked afterwards because there was one that we thought was really deserving and didn't win, and the one who did win was equally deserving. There was a 3-way tie. So Cameron Cussink is one of the newer guys into. I hope I pronounced your name right, Cameron. Forgive me if I haven't. One of the newer guys into the league.
I just call him by his first name.
He brought an Easterling force that was themed up special. He's got a bunch of Morgul Knights that he converted into. He kit bashed. He kit bashed Morgul Knights together with Cataphracts to make his own special knights, and it looked
They're pretty awesome.
Really well done. Really good choice of models for that. So he picked it up. He won the best evil theme. Runners up to him, 2-way tie between Alistair with his special Mordor force, well deserving. Ton of converted Morans.
32 conversions or something weird like that.
To talk about kit bashing, Alistair loves to kit bash, and he's good at it. And he made a special display tray, so that was great. So he was an honorable mention there, and me. So I was thankful for that. So yeah, we all had really good votes there.
They still voted for the shade.
People don't like the shade.
Whoever voted for the shade, don't vote for the shade.
So, but we had some good looking armies for themes. I was flattered to find out that I was in the running. But the guy who won deserved it, and that was great. What did I miss? Best painted model. So 2 best painted models, 1 good, 1 evil. Blake Dixon did an amazing job on Thranduil on Elk.
If you don't know who Blake Dixon is, he's the guy that swept the prizes away at Nova.
Yeah, Blake's a jerk. We hate him, but we love him. He does great work. Beautiful work. And I appreciated particularly that he had the courage to take the Thranduil off of the base that it came from with Forge World, because there's a fancy display that Forge World gives you with this
comes
card.
with that stupid expensive round
And he
chunk
made
of resin.
his own base that was themed with his army, which I thought was really well done, and yeah, very worthy of the award there. So he did a great job on that. And George, OHA George, always does beautiful. Anything he touches looks beautiful.
I don't remember what particular model he submitted.
He
I
did
think it was
Stumpy.
Stumpy. Yeah, it was Stumpy.
And it was fantastic. I mean, it totally matched his army. It's all beautiful stuff. But yeah, yet again, OHA George won a painting prize.
Stumpy
Who's
the
surprised?
troll.
Right. But Stumpy, yeah, cool model. And it's one that he hasn't submitted for pricing before. George is really good about that. So a new one, and it was really well done, very well deserved. So that's the theme awards, the Wooden Spoon Awards, second, third, and first. I showed you my third place trophy already. Second place was Will Schaff, and first place was Adam Marcel from Blackfire Productions.
Blackfire.
Oh, and the two of those gentlemen went on the Canadian Articon team and went over to the UK and played there. Great experiences and lots of stories they'll tell. And then we've got a ton of pictures that we should insert in the video maybe now about the boards, maybe later, about the boards and the armies. Lots
That'll
of really
be like
good looking
a
armies.
reel at the end that we
So
can just
watch at the end of this video and we'll give you a reel so you can see the boards and the armies. Lots of beautiful looking boards there. Mark is a new friend that we've met from RM Studio, and he printed up, 3D printed, a whole board of Osgiliath ruins. Got them all painted up in like a week. The guy's a machine.
Wow.
And it was beautiful. A ton of pictures of those that we can show you too. So yeah, just overall an amazing event. Really, really well run. So again, congratulations to the team that did that. And we should show people some pictures. Let's talk about League just for a minute. This guy,
briefly.
because we've been working so hard, you gotta grab yours.
God, crap.
Dun, dun, dun.
Da-da-da.
And you can't see it. Look at the terrible
There we
lighting in
go.
this room.
Shine the number. Flash. Flash.
Where's my
flash. There
Third
you go.
place
Flash.
in the league
And
for
I'm second.
2018,
Oh, yes.
and Kiddo here got second. So we've had a good year. This year was our year we decided to be competitive.
Okay. Just throwing this out there. I got third last year. I got second this year. So I'm feeling first this year. It's ironic.
He's not going to slow down. I'm going to slow down. This year I want to try a bunch of new things, and I'm going to go for some painting prizes and such again. But he's doing well.
I have absolutely no idea what I'm
Of
taking
a
this
maximum score of 400 league points. That's how this works. In the Ontario League, we follow the GBHL model, Great British Hobbit League. And we have 100-point events that are competitive, and we have 80-point events that are more hobby-focused. And we try to focus on creative play and crafting and such in the hobby events, encourage some different things. The competitive tier events are 100 points each. A perfect score for the season from the league is a 400-point score. Nobody's ever done that in our league.
Ever.
There's a couple people who could.
Andrew Brock
Mr.
has
Andrew
gotten
Brock, who got
close.
first place again.
Close.
If Andrew Brock had come to this tournament, we were all gunning for him. We missed him, and we'll see him next event. But he has won several. I think of the last 4 years, he's won 3, including this year. So he's now got a hat trick and has won 3.
Has it only been
The
4
league
years?
is 4 years old.
I thought it was 5 years old.
It might have started 5 years ago.
I'm
but
pretty
we've had
sure it's
four,
5. I'm
four
pretty
GTs.
sure it's 5 years old because
But we've
Andrew
had
Brock's
four-
won 4 out of the 5.
Well, maybe I'm wrong, but he's won a lot, more than his share. So this guy had a score of 346.4 something. And this guy had a score of 346.2 something.
So I'm still better.
You got to win 4 events minimum to get up into the 320 plus range.
Yeah.
Or come very, very well in the 100-point events, which is what we've done. We've both won a smaller event. He's won a 100-point
It
event.
depends on the amount of people that go to the event because then they splice the number of tournament points that you get
It's
by
a bit
the
of an
number
algorithm.
players.
If you really want to know how that works, you can look on the OSBGL Facebook group and download the handbook. It explains all that. But the only reason we say that at all is to say that we've had a great year. We've really enjoyed all the people that we've played with. We've managed a little bit of success. There's a whole lot of people right on our heels, though, and that's worth knowing. If you go to these events regularly, there's a number of players in the league that are over the 280-point mark.
Yeah.
And I think the whole top 10 is up in that range, which is great. That's a very, very good sign that lots of people are coming to events. There's lots of room for lots of people to succeed in the events, which is a good thing. They had 3 other sets of prizes they introduced this year. One was the best ambassador for the league, which was really great to see.
Yeah.
And congratulations to Don Barnett. Right?
What's that, Don?
Sportsman.
No,
He was the sportsman.
He was the sportsman.
So Don,
Blackfire.
congratulations, you won the
Blackfire was the
sportsman.
ambassador.
Yeah, Blackfire was the ambassador. Well, not Blackfire. OHA, not Adam Marcel from Blackfire. There's a couple of guys in the Blackfire team. It wasn't
Yeah, I
Blackfire
know.
that won. It was Adam.
I was
who won.
talking about the face.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, he's right. So congrats to Adam, who's been working hard. He's been going to lots of demo events. He's been showing the game to new players. He's got a whole group of people who know him now and play with him at a couple of different venues in Eastern Ontario.
I'd be interested to know who's kind of the runner-up.
Well,
For that one, I'd kind of throw it in between Taylor, ironically.
Taylor has done, he's done a lot in previous years, and he still continues to be involved. But he's on the admin team, so as an admin team, we kind of we do that. The admin
already stole half of the league awards this year.
Not on purpose. We just worked hard and played hard, and we're the guys who are there all the time. So I mean, it just goes to show that's what happens. I'll get mine out in a minute. But the runner-up, noteworthy, is Cody Brown. Who was really surprised to find that out, and that was some really good news for him. So Cody runs a store at Georgetown, and at that store, he has regular monthly events, and he's been doing a great job of recruiting new players. So he was the honorable mention. Ambassador we mentioned was Don. I did that backwards again.
Yeah.
Sportsman was Don, because we did a league vote for just at the event. We passed out cards. Yeah. We asked people to rank who they thought their best sportsmen were. Really, really great discussion that created on what's a good sportsman in the league, what they do, how they coach new players, how they make it fun for everyone. So Don Barnett won that, well earned. He's always fabulous to play around, and a really good coach to the tables around him too. When there's real confusion, he's a really patient guy, really helpful. Yeah, and then I got this one. Ta-da! This one, it's missing a piece. They told me they'll get me the piece later, but this was for Craftsman because I got the most this year, the most craft-related awards: best theme, best painted model, best display.
It was for taking Filthy Angmar.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
I got
how many of your awards came off of Angmar? You won best painted army, best painted model, best themed.
No, I haven't won best painted model. I got best theme once at one event. I got a best painted army at one event.
Was it not Alias? No, Alias. You won best painted. I don't know.
Won a couple. But I had
Angmar's won you like 4 awards.
No, I think it's 2. I'm pretty sure it's 2. But either way, one of the things that I was encouraged by previous members of the league is that if I'm going to put that army in for another best painted nomination at another event, you paint new stuff. So I've done that. I've continued to expand my Angmar over the last year. And every event that I've tried to put it in for a theme award or anything, I've added a bunch of new models that I painted for it. Try to earn it each time.
Yes.
But I've had a good year that way. I tried to focus on that, and I've had a good year. So, let's show you some pictures. There's some great stuff that we can show you that we were really excited about. It's been a good event over the last couple of weeks.
I'm actually going to splice in the
award ceremony.
The award ceremony right here when we're done.
I was trying out a new system. And it works pretty good, but definitely still some hiccups. So anyways, let's get straight to it. We have 9 different prizes from most best painted, most thematic, good and evil for both. Wooden spoon, good and evil, and then our top 3 prizes and a bunch of door prizes. We're going to start with the wooden spoon. Woo! Okay. Let's get it. Unfortunately. Evil. So the player who played an evil in our army day, wooden spoon. Last place was Cole West.
Yeah.
Sorry for the shaking his face.
Take the pictures!
Back to the lost one.
Yeah. And last place, a good army, is Andrew, and I have letter P. It's Antonio's friend. All right.
Great start to my first game of the week.
And then for best painted, the best painted evil by a landslide was George. Yeah. George
George, hey, George, sword.
Watch your right. And best painted for good army was Blake Dixon.
All right.
Same guy from Nova.
He also went from traveling the furthest, also traveled from the States, so good for him. Florida. Also, he wins for traveling the furthest. Yeah. He's from Florida. Congrats. Thank you.
And for most thematic,
Don't
celebrate bad evil. Most thematic evil. Wait, no, it isn't. Good. is Nick Benny.
What'd he play?
Hobbits.
Here we go. Hobbits.
With
Shire.
With Gandalf?
Yes, with Gandalf.
It's scarier than it sounds.
And the most thematic named evil was Cameron Kuzik.
Easterlings and Mordor.
What are we, Karen? What? Yes. Yes.
All right, and for our top players, in third place we have Derek Sadnick. And in second place we have Will. I'm not going to pronounce your last name. And in first place, the clean sweep.
Andrew Brock. No.
Adam Marcel.
Yes.
Does he get to keep that?
I want to do this.
I will tackle him for his job.
He's a cop, you don't want to do that.
That's fine.
Jackie's got the memory flash rule.
And I'm going to use up the John Miller Boromir, very well painted by Joseph Hanley, so thank you very much. And the display is done by Ben, so thank you. So, yes. Awesome, thank you. Great shot.
So, Michael Vannon, thanks so much for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And final thoughts?
Picture reel.
Picture reel.
In
See
a
you
few
next time.
seconds.
different. 471.
Come on, give it a 300.
Right?
Yeah, let's get into the fives.